Thank you for joining me again on TMI Tuesday. While we had a break, we were opportune to be joined by a political analyst, a scientist, a lecturer at University of Benin in Political Science Department, Neville Obakedo. Thanks for joining me, Neville.
Good morning, viewers at home, and thank you for having me this great Tuesday morning.
And I want to also thank Cosmos Irabo, a legal practitioner, for still being with me, and of course to Ibrahim Momo, a political economist. Thank you.
Thank you for having us.
All right, so we want your looking at what has been transpiring. We have the Owo church attack that is really leaving us with a very sad experience, and there are some that believes that there could be a contagious approach to this, that it happened in Owo. It may happen in other climes and is getting close to other states, like Edo State, for instance. What do you make of this development, Neville?
The problem of insecurity in the world is a great threat to human existence in general. And the problem of insecurity in our country, it does not really call for lamentation, but calls for action. Number one, we are aware information is rife in the public space about attempt by certain religion-based groups who have come out to say that they have a mission of establishing a religion-based nation state in Nigeria. And in the course of doing that, those that are of the Christian religion, they are going to be exterminated. Those that are of the same religion with them, but of different version in terms of belief system, they are also going to guillotine them. This is what we saw in Owo, because they have been threatening, and the government is aware that.
When you say this is what we saw,
yes,
you mean, I think you are saying this is what you saw.
Yeah, when I
because
say
you are tying it to religious inclinations. That may not be what others are tying it to.
Okay.
So speak your opinion in this regard.
Now, I want to give an instance. Ondo State is one of the states where you have Amotekun. And we know of the kind of relationship that they have had with criminal-minded herdsmen under the name of Mieti Allah. That information is in public space. Now, we're also aware of the fact that from Owo down to Ose local government, which have boundary with Edo State, around Almugija, around Olumoye, around Ogbese, around there's one particular community that I want to remember now.
Okay.
Ofutebe, down to Onwa, to Agbanikaka and Sobe.
Wow.
Then from there, you cannot cross to Zeba side of Onwa West local government. That area is like a no-go area. It's an area where Amotekun have tried to make impact. Now, when you hear that people of a particular extraction, they have gone to attack a church, and the mode of attack is similar to the mode of attack that we have seen in northern part of the country. We know that the police said they have commenced investigation. While waiting for the investigation, information concerning the attack is already in the lips and in the hands of people. Just for police to get across to them, hide their identity, they will get the facts about what happened there. But basically, what happened there can happen anywhere in our country.
Exactly.
And that should be the main point. The main point is that it seems as if the government of Nigeria is sleeping in terms of insecurity Because, like the other day, the president made the statement, vice president made the statement. Even the president made the statement about the attack in Owo. I look at their statement, and I reacted to the statement of the vice president. I said, Prof, Mr. Vice President, I discovered that when you made a statement about the Owo attack, after condemning the attack, after sympathizing with the families, you did not say that the state, the Nigeria state, will ensure that the perpetrators are brought to book, that there will be no hiding place for them. He did not say it in the statement. But yesterday or so, when he went to that place, he now alluded to that part that the government will not rest on the shoulders until the perpetrators are brought to book.
Okay, but I don't think this is really a time for a blame game, because what has happened, you know, is really causing a lot of shivers, you know, in the spine of Nigerians. And just like you said, you know, this could be contagious. Like just a few minutes away from Owo to Benin, Edo State, you know, it's another challenge. How do you see the readiness of the state government in ensuring that what happened in Ondo or Owo does not happen in Edo State?
I believe that our state governor and those that are close to the governor, they are watching this program. It's not everything that you have to say to government that you see on air. But I want to believe that the government of Edo State should wake up, because most of the people, most of these elements, criminal elements that were chased away from Edo State, they are in Edo State. The other day I took Boke and one of some other communities, Boku and some communities, all in Ovia's notice where we are.
We still have the challenge of the Agbomere saga.
Yes, all in Ovia notice. It's like Ovia notice is like an ungoverned space in Edo State. And for the government of Edo State to govern this space, the government need to, number one, declare a state of emergency, and then call people to come and make position statements, present papers on how that problem can be solved. Now, in that case, the government is supposed to call for a senatorial security meeting, like a town hall meeting, where people who ordinarily don't have access to the governor through phone, through visit to his office, where they can make their positions known, and government can take one or two things from them and take decision on this matter. Now, why the government need to act, and act urgently too, is because this Ovia Northeast is having borders with the other 6 local governments in Edo South, and it's also having link with some other local government in Edo North. For example, Ovia Northeast, from Ovia Northeast you can enter Onwa West local government.
Okay. From
Ovia Northeast you can enter Ude local government through Uyere to what's the name of this community now?
Okay, so it links. Okay. It links to other communities.
From there, you can link Esan West local government, which is the Equator, the Epoma. Then from there, you can link. I've said you can link Unwode just now. Okay. You can link Ovia Southwest. You can link Ego local government. You can link Uredi local government. It means that you can also, through Ovia Northeast, link other states, other neighboring states, like Delta State, like Ondo State through the water, like Ondo State through Ohosu. And
so what you mean is that it's vulnerable?
Yes, Edo State just now is vulnerable. That's on one part.
Okay.
If you go to Edo North, through Agenebode, through Ayegbete, through Okwela, through Notibe, Opepe, and that axis. Then from there you enter Ishua Road and Lisi Bilo and the Lakwese. You will discover that Edo State is like a state that is a time bomb.
Okay, you heard what he said. You heard what he said, Cosmo Serabo. Do you concur that what we are faced with in Edo State could be like living on a time bomb?
Excuse me. When you say living on a time bomb, I want to say the bomb is almost exploding. That's the truth. If what is happening can extend to Ondo here, close to us, it means it's already at our doorstep. So the government should, I want to say now, sit up, and not just the government, everybody. Like I have always said, the governor, in his wisdom, has given us the go-ahead to defend ourselves. Formerly, if you buy a gun, you want for games, you double barrel and all that, before you be able to register it, you sweat. But now you can do that with ease. The intent is
it to the help of the governor?
Yes, because with this vigilante issue, it becomes easy. So the intent is defend yourself. I've always said it.
Okay.
I've always said it here. If communities can come out, bring that armory, you understand, to fight over tussle, chairmanship tussle and all that, or community issues because you want to sell land, what prevents you from also defending yourself when these people, with due respect, I don't even call them headers, because headers take care of their heads.
Okay, but
these are criminals, but sponsored by people from somewhere else, people in power, in my own opinion, sponsoring them to create havoc, to plant the agenda in this country.
But is it not also a lack of taking responsibility constitutionally? Because the issue of security falls on the government, and if the government is now saying that citizens should defend themselves, does it not also fall on the government to strengthen the law enforcement agents, strengthen the vigilante network? Or what do you mean by defending yourself?
When you see the handwriting on the wall, you don't need any other interpretation. What we are seeing is intentional. It's intentional. People have decided to say, go and do it. So the same person that said, you just like you are saying, somebody hid your money, stole your money, hid it, and the person helped you to look for it, will you ever find it? If you are heading to other way, direct your attention to other place. What we are seeing is planned. So nothing will happen. I'm telling you the truth. That's my opinion. It is planned.
Do you support his opinion, Ibrahim?
Well, on the issue of Nigerian teetering on a time bomb security-wise, I am wholly supportive of the idea of the implication of that kind of statement, because we have seen a colossal failure, to prevent and then apprehend and then prosecute and punish, criminals. We have seen
on the part of government,
on the part of the security agencies.
Okay.
Because sometimes we just throw everything open as if nobody can be held responsible.
When you say on the part of security agencies, the security agencies, they fall under the executive.
Yeah, they do.
So it's still on the part of the government. Or
no, I'm not. If you want to say government, it's amorphous. It's vague. I said that oftentimes people want to play the we versus them politics. They okay, you blame Buhari, you blame the federal government, shielding the states from their failure, shielding the fact that local governments are being killed. You see, all of these challenges. Look at the very good example that Dr. Neville pointed out. In Ovia Northeast, if we had a chairman in place, we would have the chairman.
Like you said earlier.
And councillors, thank you very much. We asked them.
That can fill the space.
Yes. These are questions that you can ask local government chairmen and councillors. Because if you are not, if we elect you to steer the ship of the council, and you're not doing a good job, we can ask you. It's not true that they don't have a role to play in secretization of our body politics. It's not possible. It's not true. We do. But currently now we don't have them. Now the road, everything, everybody is calling governor, everybody calling president. These are not things that the governor cannot be everywhere. The governor, for example, his work takes out of those states. Okay. He has to leave those states. He has to leave Nigeria. Okay.
What
happens in Ovia State, for example?
Let's come back to you. Okay, thank you. Let's come back to you, Nebula Bahedo. Now, we have this whole drama, this scenario before us. And even the issue of the Abu Mere community is also a big challenge. Now, what do you make of this aspect of defending one's self when it comes to issues like this? And what do you make of the vigilantes in terms of improving on their performance so far?
The vigilante that I've been seeing, they don't know that, maybe because of lack of orientation, they don't know that in their own area of jurisdiction, they are supposed to be civil by meeting with the people to say, this is the reason why we are here for you. They drop their phone numbers so that people can reach them. It's not the military bravado style. You see that they carry vehicle, they will just be blowing, whether they have sari or just horn, they just be blowing, clearing people off the road as if they are in the military war game exercise. Now, defending oneself is to say you should defend yourself is an admittance of failure on the side of government.
Right.
Now, if the government fails as a community, you don't need the same government that failed to tell you defend yourself. You are supposed to, on your own volition, know that since the government is not alive to its responsibility,
the onus lies on you.
The onus lies on me to protect myself.
Of course, yes.
And that's where I agree with Esquire just now. In the communities in our state and elsewhere, when they have a community clash, intra-community clash, over the control of the resources of the community, even though they know their parents, they know each other, they go together, they will carry guns and be fighting themselves, burning their property, destroying their own houses in the same community, and the entire community is now under siege. Then that zeal, that revolutionary zeal, that violent zeal, is not dampened when you now see an external force or aggressor coming to attack the community. It shows that some people are half human beings, because if you are wise, if you are a wise man, your wisdom is not only garnered from your community, you garner your wisdom from other communities and from the rest part of the world. And what I always advise people to go and get information from is the Middle East. We have been talking of North-South dichotomy, this and that in Nigeria politics, Muslim versus Christian, blah, blah, blah. Those ones are not our problem. But the politicians that play the politics of wanting to remain in power, they try to use differences in ethnic group and religion to cause division
among the people.
Among the people. And if this division is not life-threatening, you go to the Arab world, go and learn from the Arab-Israeli relationship. If a Jew is born, whether in Israel or in any part of the world, the parents and the school that is going to attend, they are going to let him know or her know that you have a common enemy in this world. The common enemy that you have in this world is the Arab and their allies. If an Arab is born anywhere in the world, they will tell the Arab, now that you are born into this world, you have a common enemy, America and their allies in the world. This is how they grow up, with mutual suspicion. So even though you see them in a community, whether because of Shama el-Sharif, because of one holy site in Israel, and you see Palestinians on this side, Israelis on this side, Muslims on this side, people of Jewish religion that are worshiping synagogue, and maybe minority of them Christian on the other side, you see that they live peacefully together and they know their boundaries. It is only maybe period of fasting, period of Ramadan, holy week or holy period, and maybe period of politics that the differences between them is now ignited, so that those who want to control power can now be able to control power in that region. I expect people that find themselves in the situation that find ourselves in Nigeria now, and especially in Novia Northeast and other parts of the country, to take a cue from that environment. Okay. And these days, we welcome, the way we welcome non-indigenous and strangers into our community was not the way our forefathers were welcoming non-indigenous and strangers in our communities. Okay, in those days.
Ibrahim Momo mentioned the fact about the security votes, not properly utilized or deployed, to cover the lapses or gaps in this security challenge. Do you concur that governors are not really deploying this into good use?
When we talk about security votes, those who envisioned the issue of security vote, they did not say that, for example, Delta State governor that is collecting 1 billion naira as security vote should just collect the money and put it in his pocket, and later use part of the money to sponsor the child, bribe party members and sponsor the child to go to House of Assembly. Or the former governor Uduaghan, the security vote that he took when he was governor, should keep it, so that when the election is coming, he cannot sponsor the child and say you go to Delta State House of Assembly. Or he will say, Ibori, the money that you took from Delta State government. I'm just using them as an example. The other people in our own state here, previous governors and the city governor, they collect security vote.
And the challenge is that they are not held liable for mismanagement of these security votes.
Yes. The intent of the security vote is not for you to take the money and keep it and use it as you like. Security vote. The money is meant for security. How is it meant for security? There are security agencies that are posted to your state. Like in Edo State, you have the police, You are supposed to give part of that security vote to assist the police in working effectively to combat crime in your state. You are supposed to give part of that money to the army, the military locations in your state, so that those of them, like the Nigerian Navy, when they are going to be combating crime on the waterways, the ones that are on ground, the artillery and the engineering, like in Edo State. Then those that are marine police, those that are civil defense that are cracking down on crime and the rest of them, you give them. Beyond that, in each of the communities, those that have the tendency to cause violence and disturb the peace in this community, the governor of any state is supposed to have the names of the warlords in quote of each community, that they can give a sense of belonging. Maybe they will give them SSA to the governor of security in an area where anything that is happening there, different from the version from the security agencies, that grassrooter who is a youth leader, who is likely to know the criminal elements in the communities, will be able to brief the governor so that the security challenge in that area can be tapped.
Okay,
but this is not what we have.
The law seems to be silent in how these security votes should be apportioned. Cosmos Irabo, you are a custodian of the law. Is the law really silent? Because we have challenges where, you know, the governors are not held liable or accountable on how they administer these funds on the security votes.
You see, the truth is, when it has to do with the security, it becomes difficult for anybody to tell you that this is the X, Y, and Z. You know, there is a security situation in the country. So you cannot, in my state, so you cannot really say this is how you spend this. So that's why it is silent in that particular area. But coming to how the governor is spending his the security vote, I'll tell you that in Edo State, I am not too happy with the way the whole issue is going. When I contested for governorship office, I did say something. I said, as a governor, my security vote, I will use them to purchase helicopters. You can, it's cheap, it's affordable. Drones, you give, you know, incentives to those crack units and the police and all that. And then when you do this, you discover that everything, what you call science has made things so easy. If the governor decides to buy drones today, good drones that can fire, you understand? Or you buy helicopters. People are buying private jets here and there. You buy helicopters. When criminals know that if they go out, they will be caught, they will stop it. But because it's obvious now that if they go out, nothing happens. That's why I see everybody, they come, they attack, and they go. Moreover, they know that we do it, we have a support from somewhere.
Okay, so you are trying to say that you do not applaud the way the governor in Edo State is really administering the security votes?
Yes,
is that
for once I will say that.
Okay, let's take your comment on that in the next 1 minute.
Well, quickly, on the issue of security votes, I think it is not called security vote by mistake. We ought to deploy it for security vote, for ensuring security. And then, in understanding security, we have to understand that security is more composite than just purchase of arms or military or defense security equipment.
Okay.
I think also the fact that the people, if a hungry man is an angry man, the concept in political science talk about frustration, aggression, as a theory of analysis, so that sometimes if we cater for the well-being of the people as government, it tends to lower the pressure or tension, security pressure or tension, even on that government.
Okay.
And so I think that, one, we should deploy security, vote for security, and then we should look at security from a more composite sense than just the linear thinking of, purchase of equipment or other facilities.
Thank you. In the final analysis, your final lap, 1 minute, Nebula Bakedo.
My final statement on the issue of security is that government at the federal level, government at state level, and government at local level, which we don't have right now in the Edo State, they are put in place to provide welfare and security for the people. And the government seems to be failing in this responsibility. So every man becomes a government to himself. This is the reason why we have insecurity in the land.
Thank you, Nebula Bakedo.
Unless the government does something positive and drastic about it, the situation will degenerate.
Thank you, Neville. Once again, thank you, Cosmos Rabo and Ibrahim Momo. We take a short break on TMI. Do stay tuned.